Right, here's episode 92 of the Mr. N book readings. Little Miss Slate. Late for this, late for that. Little Miss Slate was late for everything. For instance, do you know where she spent last Christmas? At home, Earlybird Cottage. But do you know when she spent Christmas? January the 25th, 1 month late. For example, do you know when she did her spring cleaning at Earlybird Cottage? In the summer, 3 months late. And for instance, do you know when she went on her summer holiday last year? In December, 6 months late. Earlybird Cottage was just along the road from where a friend of hers lived, Little Miss Neat. Little Miss Neat was out for an evening stroll last October. When she looked over the hedge of Earlybird Cottage, Little Miss Slate was in the garden. "Hello," called out Little Miss Neat. "What are you doing?" "I thought I'd cut the grass," replied Miss Slate. "I think," remarked Little Miss Slate, looking at the grass, "that you should have thought about that last April." "Tell you what," suggested Miss Neat, "let's go shopping together tomorrow." "Good idea," agreed Miss Slate. "I'll meet you in town on the corner of Main Street tomorrow afternoon," said Miss Neat. 2 o'clock. "I'll be there," replied Miss Slate. The following afternoon, Little Miss Neat stood on the corner of Main Street at 2 o'clock. She's waiting for Miss Slate. She waited and waited and waited some more. Little Miss Slate arrived. "Sorry I'm a bit late," she apologised. "Sorry," cried Miss Neat. "A bit late? It's 5 o'clock and all the shops have shut." "Sorry," said Miss Slate. And that's what happened all the time. It happened when Little Miss Slate decided to take a job. Her first job was in a bank. But the trouble was, by the time she arrived for work, the bank had closed for the day. Every day. "Sorry," she said. They asked her to leave. It happened in her second job, as a waitress in a restaurant. Mr. Greedy came in for lunch. He glanced at the menu. "I'll have everything," he grinned. "Twice." He was still waiting to be served at 7 o'clock, so he went home. "Sorry," said Little Miss Slate. They asked her to leave. And it happened in her third job, working as a secretary for Mr. Uppity. "I'd like these letters typed before I go home," Mr. Uppity said to her, and he went home at 4 o'clock. "In the morning!" "Sorry," said Little Miss Slate, so he asked her to leave. However, as it happened, which is often the way of things, Little Miss Slate managed to find herself the perfect job. She now works for Mr. Lazy. She cooks and cleans for him, cleaning his house every morning and cooking his lunch every lunchtime. Now, Mr. Lazy, being lazy, doesn't get up in the morning like you and I do. He gets up in the afternoon. And Little Miss Slate, being Little Miss Slate, is not late for work, is always late for work. So she doesn't arrive for work in the morning. She arrives in the afternoon. And Mr. Lazy, being Mr. Lazy, doesn't have lunch at lunchtime like you and I do. He has lunch at supper time. And so you see, it all works very well. Very well indeed. Last Friday evening, the telephone rang in Earlybird Cottage. Little Miss Slate had just arrived home from work. It was Mr. Silly on the telephone. "I've been given some tickets for a dance tomorrow night," he said. "Would you like to come?" "Oh, yes, please," said Miss Slate eagerly. "Right," replied Mr. Silly. "I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock. Last Saturday, Little Miss Silly walked up the path to the front door of Earlybird Cottage. He knocked. "Come in," called a voice from upstairs. Mr. Silly went in. "Make yourself at home," called Little Miss Slate from upstairs. "I'll be down in a minute." Now, wasn't that a funny story, was it?